Propagation of Christianity in the Philippines. For faith or for conquest? Good day, sir. We are Group 1 and I am Zafra Cindy. There's no doubt that Spaniards' conquest made a huge influence on how we live today in terms of culture and beliefs. Religion was one of the most powerful influence they had during their reign in the country. Their rule was largely rationalized as a mission to spread Christianity throughout Asia. However, if faith was all they wanted to propagate when they came into the country, why is there a bloodshed and oppression of the poor? To begin, in effort to spread Christian teaching across the Philippine archipelago, Doctrina Christiana was introduced to us. Printed in the Philippines in 1593 and translated in Tagalog in its original Baybayin script, the book's goal was to provide readers with practical guidance on how to interpret the faith as well as promote better Christianity in the country by explaining its fundamental values. It was undeniably effective as proven by the emergence of Catholic churches and other places of worship throughout this time. One of these is the Magellan's Cross Pavilion. The pavilion was built to commemorate the moment when Ferdinand Magellan's voyage raised the Magellan's Cross in Cebu. It also shows the site of Philippines' first ever baptism and made significant influence in Filipinos' conviction and relationship with others.
Good day, I am Tabuco, and finally the Santo Niño de Cebu, one of the most famous relics handed to us by the Spaniards. The conquerors saw the statue's survival as a sign of miracle, and it has been thought to have miraculous powers ever since. The existence of this artifact confirmed and validated the Filipinos' faith, beliefs, and traditions, and as a result, Christianity has been infused into the lives of the Filipinos. During the Spanish monarchy, however, the peace and unity that comes with Christianity were accompanied by repressive individuals who took advantage of everyone's goodwill. They simply tear people down while claiming to be following the church's requirements, despite the fact that they reek of greed and power, which runs against their teachings. This is proven by the contradicting primary sources No Limitang Here, the Battle of Mactan painting, and the photo that showed the aftermath of the Hollow Cathedral bombing. These three main primary sources demonstrated the significant imprint the Spanish had on us as Christians, because these are still present in our beliefs and are even regarded as tourist destinations in our country that even outsiders cannot resist visiting. We even have festivals dedicated entirely to celebrating the customs and beliefs that have developed as a result of Spanish domination. It may have been one of our forefathers' darkest periods in history due to the brutality and injustice they had to endure, yet it was nevertheless a vital part of our identity as Filipinos.
Good day, sir. This is Castaños. It has been a long-known fact that the Christianization of the Philippines was caused by the Spaniards when they arrived in the Philippines. The arrival of Ferdinand Magellan in Cebu became one of the most important events that signaled the arrival of Christianity in the country. As proof of this, the cross he brought to commemorate his arrival has been displayed in the Magellan's Cross Pavilion for many years as shown in the photo which we used as our primary source, together with the image of Santo Niño which he brought as a gift for the first ever baptism that happened in the Philippines. Christianity was slowly being introduced and accepted into our lives. However, the religion did not spread easily since not everyone welcomed it. When Magellan tried to convert the natives of Mactan into Christians, it eventually ended into a tragedy.
Good day, sir. I am Alaw. A native warrior named Lapu-Lapu absolutely refused his offer, driving him back to the sea. But Magellan forced his way in and the great fight began. This was the first consequence of propagating the way of Christianity, wherein Magellan sacrificed his life for the sake of spreading Christianity, as well as paving the way for other Spaniards to continue the colonization of our country. Several years passed before Fray Juan de Plasencia, who devoted his missionary life to propagating Catholic teachings, wrote and published the book Doctrina Christiana in 1593. This book had a significant impact on the Filipino people's faith, and it is expected that this book would significantly expand the number of Christians in the world. Together with the construction of the Magellan's Cross Pavilion and the image of Senior Santo Niño, strengthened the faith of the people, and this became the door for the Spaniards to deepen their influence in the Philippines. With the colonizers gaining the trust of the Filipinos, they took advantage of the people's faith in the church and performed heinous crimes against them. In retaliation, our forefathers were forced to fight for their rights and expose their dirty deeds in such work in No Limitang.
Good morning, sir. My name is Stu James, and I'll be continuing for the socio-political economic conditions of the Philippines. The colonization of the Philippines by Spain has been long engraved in Philippine history, creating in it our heroes that forged Filipino values carried today. Upon a closer look at the socio-political economic conditions during that time, it has been discovered that things really improved in the country, but it also comes with costs. during the colonization of the Philippines of the year 1565 to 1898, and within the 15th century, created one of the earliest printed documents in the Philippines of Doctrina Christiana, an early book on the Catechism of the Catholic Church that would long shape the Philippines of its religion. The conditions of the time during the Spanish rule were growing exponentially. This was shown by the funding of schools, universities, hospitals, and especially churches. Also with the implementation of centralized government. The culture was greatly changed. People now shared a common language, education, leader, and more. More places were united under one rule, with the representatives from smaller clusters. People learned business that boosted the development of the country. The social statuses were also still there. The bad side is that many natives who owned vast amounts of land were paid, threatened, killed, and snatched from their possessions by people who are in power, even fellow Filipinos. Even the media during the time was heavily manipulated by the people of power, and anyone who writes or talked against the government was punished. Overall, the acceptance of Christianity in the Philippines opened its potential for the connection of trade to the European countries, giving it access to different resources.
So I am Sarahena, and based on our analysis, Spaniards have truly achieved their goal of influencing the Filipinos into accepting the church as part of our society. The propagation of Christianity in the Philippines had challenges and things we might not expect such proclaiming of the word to be. There are two perspectives and possibilities of faith to stand for. One is being a believer, and second is being an oppressive individual. Being a normal person during that time takes discipline to make sure one cannot go against the wills of the government leaders to prevent unnecessary punishment. However, when one takes the courage to voice out, problems may arise. People who genuinely believe in the faith give all their time, money, and effort just to be saved. People who are blinded by wealth believe in the faith when asking for something from the Lord, but still look down on people they think who are lower than them. A normal person could see the race to the top in the social status, everyone destroying each other and only looking for opportunities.
I am Escobedo, and in the religious aspect, it must be refreshing, but at the same time weary for an ordinary person. Imagine being in a time where big changes were made, influences that created a big impact on every Filipino. A strong Spanish tradition was preserved. It must be a privilege to have witnessed such. But what is it really for an ordinary person during those days? Long before the Spaniards came along, Filipinos had a religion of their own. Due to changes in practices, specifically in burial situations, Catholic missionaries from all over the world, and the establishment of various regulations, Catholicism was basically forced upon us, which something a commoner could not argue about. Because what power do we possess to be able to do such? It was definitely a harsh experience to be run by people who do not have the same culture or nationality as you. However, we could say that it had more positive effects than bad. We have learned so much from them, and I doubt if something like that did not happen, good changes wouldn't have occurred.
Good day, sir. I'm Lana. We learned the true value of faith for the people. It may be a holistic one, but some use it to manipulate. All of us are believers of the faith, and we don't even know how it started in the Philippines. With a deeper look and understanding through the analysis done, we were able to get different perspectives regarding the history of Christianity in the Philippines. We realized that blood was shed when the faith was in the process of being accepted before. It caused confusion regarding the real purpose of the people who colonized us, whether it's for land and glory or by faith. Religion books have taught us that the faith is genuine, but historical ones are telling a bit different about it. Maybe it's because of the method used to proclaim the faith, which is wrong. But still, there are good effects made, like the unity of the people, which is clearly evident. The country is choosing which laws to approve wisely, considering the faith. And the church leaders, or leaders in general, have become aware of issues and more compassionate to the people. Faith is not forced and is to be personally experienced. It is a matter of respect. There might be two sides of the story, but it is in us that we make it one. It might have been a long and bumpy ride, but it leads us to where we are heading. Gas prices may be high, but on this trip, we can enjoy and hold on to our seatbelts. We appreciate good intentions and sincere actions, but the debate still will not be at rest. Was the propagation of Christianity in the Philippines for faith or just for conquest?